Why most organizations get risk management wrong. Most organizations don't fail because they take reckless risks. They fail because they misunderstand what risk actually is. In fact, many organizations that collapsed had risk teams, policies, audits, and reports. On paper, everything looked perfect. Yet when things went wrong, people said, "We never saw this coming." But here's the uncomfortable truth. The risk was visible. It was discussed. It was documented. It was just ignored. Risk management is often treated as a formality, not a decision discipline. Something to be completed, not something that challenges direction. And that is why most organizations get risk management wrong, not due to lack of intelligence, but due to lack of honest engagement. Ask most organizations what risk management means, and you'll hear familiar answers. Policies, frameworks, risk registers, heat maps, ratings from low to high. These tools are not useless, but they're not risk management by themselves. Risk management is often mistaken for documentation activity. Once the form is filled, the box is ticked, and the meeting ends. But risk doesn't disappear because it was documented. If risk management does not influence how decisions are made, what gets approved, what gets delayed or stopped, then it becomes a reporting exercise, not a protection mechanism. The biggest mistake organizations make is believing that recording risk equals managing risk. It doesn't. Real organizational risk rarely hides in spreadsheets. It hides in silence, in meetings where everyone agrees too quickly, in emails that are never replied to, in concerns that are softened to avoid conflict. It hides in phrases like, "This is how we've always done it. Let's not slow the project. Management already decided." These are not neutral statements. They are risk signals. Most failures don't happen suddenly. They are preceded by ignored warnings, delayed actions, and unchallenged assumptions. When people stop speaking honestly, risk grows silently, and no framework can fix that. Consider a common scenario. A project begins to show small delays. Nothing critical, just minor slippages. The team flags it. Management notes it. But the response is always the same. "We'll catch up next month." Over time, delays increase. Costs rise. Quality drops. By the time leadership reacts, the issue has become a crisis. This is not a failure of intelligence. It is a failure of risk escalation. Early risks were known, but they were normalized. Risk management failed not because the risk wasn't identified, but because nobody acted early. This pattern repeats across industries, functions, and organizations. At the core of most risk failures is human behavior. People hesitate to raise concerns because they fear being seen as negative. They don't want to challenge authority. They don't want to delay outcomes. Over time, this creates a dangerous culture. Risk becomes someone else's responsibility. Silence feels safer than honesty. Speed is rewarded more than caution. This is why organizations with smart people still make poor risk decisions. Risk management fails when speaking up is risky, questioning is discouraged, escalation is punished. Until this changes, no system will work. Many organizations produce excellent risk reports. They are detailed, structured, and well-designed. Yet decisions remain unchanged. Why? Because risk reports often arrive after decisions are already made, or they are written in language that avoids discomfort. Risks are presented as observations, not consequences. If a risk report does not clearly say, "This decision is unsafe," "This must be delayed," "This exposure is unacceptable," then it will be read and ignored. Risk reporting without consequence is not risk management. It's documentation. Effective risk management looks very different. It slows decisions when necessary. It forces uncomfortable conversations. It challenges optimism with realism. In strong organizations, Risk influences priorities. Early warnings are rewarded. Escalation is respected. Risk management is embedded in how choices are made, not how reports are written. When risk management works, it doesn't feel comfortable. It feels necessary. Most organizations don't fail because they don't know their risks. They fail because they choose not to act on them. Risk management is not about eliminating uncertainty. It's about recognizing it early and responding honestly. If risk never changes behavior, never delays a decision, never challenges leadership, then it isn't working. The real question every organization should ask is simple. Does our risk management influence decisions or just decorate reports?